Looking back on 9/11, almost 20 years ago, 19 and change. So I finished my 24-hour tour on September 10th. So I got off of at 6 o'clock in the evening on September 10th. And I worked in the South Bronx in 19 truck. Nothing unusual that day. Just a normal day in the fire department, and, go home that night and go to bed, wake up the next morning with my family, my wife and two boys. My son, Jeff, is 4.5, almost 5. Dylan was just born in 2000. So he's a baby. He's January 2000. And so I wake up having coffee and I'm hanging out with the family. We're watching the Disney Channel and a commercial comes on and I do the typical male thing and flip the channel. And I see the first plane is impacted, the Trade Center. And I jump up and, even before the recall, I'm ready to go. And Joel starts crying immediately, begging with me to stay home. I was down here in 1993 on the first bombing. And so I knew it was a terrorist attack from moment one. And, Jeff's crying. And before I could leave, there's a total recall of all off-duty firefighters and police officers and emergency personnel for the city of New York. And I have a Toyota Corolla at the time, and I live in Rockland County, which is about 35 miles north of New York City. And I'm thinking of secondary targets. I'm an Air Force veteran, and my mind is always thinking, and I'm thinking of GW. My normal route into the city is a secondary target, so I take the Tappan Zee Bridge. Unfortunately, when I finished my 24 the night before, I was low on gas, lazy, tired, and I didn't fuel up. I had to stop in Nyack to fuel up. I seen another fireman at the time, and he passed me. We waved, and I got to the Tappan Zee Bridge, and I'm on the Westchester side of the Tappan Zee Bridge. And for those that don't know it, the Tappan Zee Bridge spans between Rockland and Westchester. And if you look due south on a clear day, which 9/11 was, a crystal clear day, you can see Lower Manhattan. And the bridge is shut down with us on this because they think there's a secondary device on the bridge. The state police shut the bridge down. Why they shut it down with us on it, I don't know. But I'm standing out there with other cops and firefighters, and we're looking due south, and there's the towers burning. Short time out there, I don't know, a couple minutes. Back we go, Toyota Corolla, 100 miles an hour. I'm going in a Toyota Corolla. Down to Major Deegan, into the South Bronx to the quarters of Engine 50 and Ladder 19. I pull up to the firehouse and I see the battalion coming out of quarters. We had a battalion 26 in quarters, and I don't think anything about it. I let them go because I'm not assigned to the battalion. I'm in 19 truck. They go. I open the door to the firehouse. The engine, the truck, and the battalion is gone. I'm the first off-duty member to sign in to 50 and 19. And they started holding us back into a mustering area because we already knew that the loss of life was so great. We were standing at Division 6, which is quartered with Engine 71 and Ladder 55 in the Bronx. And there's hundreds of firefighters standing in the street. Mulling around, wanting to go, but they're ordering us to stay put, trying to get a better plan. And, guys are looking for their brothers. I'm standing there with Joe Genley and another friend of mine, Tommy Kelly, and they're looking for Joe's looking for his brother, John. He knows he's working that day and he can't get a hold of him. It just like pulls at your heart because John was lost that day. I know all the Gimleys. In the meantime, being an Air Force veteran, standing there, and a weird thing was that F-15s are flying over New York City. Fighter jets are flying over New York City. Why I'm not, it's not unusual for me to see an F-15 fly. It's unusual to see them fly low over New York City. And it just sent chills up my back because the world changed. You know, that morning it changed forever. And so we stayed there in that area. We didn't know the loss of life yet, how many guys we lost. We were hoping for the best, praying. And we went back to our firehouses, respective firehouses. They started breaking us up into an ABC platoon, which was unusual. They broke us up into groups. In the firehouse, they broke us up into groups, and my group wasn't scheduled to go down to the Trade Center to the morning of September 12th. So I don't know, zero dark 30, as we say in the military, arrived at the Trade Center, and it was surreal to see what took place there. I was just down there probably the week before. There used to be country concerts at the foot of the World Trade Center, and I was just there with my family, seeing a young artist called Billy Gilman, like a week before, and to see this whole area, it was just total destruction. It was an apocalypse, and this is Lower Manhattan, and everything was gone. There was stuff that was not recognizable. I spent the next 10 months, in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero. I lost 33 friends that day. I've probably lost close to 50 post 9/11 from cancers and we lost 343 firefighters that day, and I'm not putting that above the loss of life. We lost almost 3,000 people that day, and they were murdered. And me losing 33 friends, and seeing the New York City Fire Department lose 343, and then 97 guys in the Special Operations Command. I threw my hat in the ring to help rebuild the Special Operations Command. They were looking for senior guys to move to the rescues and squads and hazmat. And I lost a personal friend, Tommy Foley, on 9/11, and they lost. Excuse me. They lost 8 guys in Rescue 3 that day. So I threw my hat in the ring, composed my resume, and went for an interview to Rescue 3, to sit there, to have an interview with the captain, Ralph Tizo of Rescue 3, and to see if I have what it takes to help rebuild the command. And October 5th of 01, I was one of the first 3 guys brought over to Rescue 3. And while I'm Rescue 3, I'm sitting there basically in a dead man's chair. There was 8 guys lost from that company, so I have to prove myself. So I'm going to advanced rescue schools. I am going to funerals for my friends and coworkers. I am in the rescue and recovery efforts at Ground Zero, digging vigorously to find remains, still hoping to find a sign of life. And that was 10 months that I was gone from my family. But I have no regrets for that day, and the months after for being there, because I think if we had to do it all over again, I know I'd be there, and helping everybody out I could, when I say that there was nothing recognizable down there. I mean, there was days that you dug and you didn't see anything. You seen pulverized concrete. You seen just steel and metal, and there was nothing there. And then you would dig and dig and dig, and then you would find, maybe a bone fragment. But one thing that sticks in my mind, when I say that you didn't see anything, is that one day after an area was cut open, that like a path, I seen a pair of pants with a belt around these pants. And it was kind of like hanging in the debris and twisted metal, but there was no body there. So like, it's just like etched in my mind, like what happened to this person? Like, who was that person? Just something that stays, with me, but again, I have no regrets for helping out my country.
It was several years later when you escaped death yourself in another horrendous situation for the FDNY called Black Sunday.
Yeah. Again, I'm a lucky man. I lost a couple of my brothers that day, and John Ballou from 27 Truck, Curtis Myron, Lieutenant of 27 Truck, and we lost Richie Scalfani that afternoon in Brooklyn, and then we also lost Joey DiBernardo 6 years later from his injuries at that fire. But yeah, we were trapped. Basically, it was a 4-story building. But there was a below grade entrance, and so it's 5 stories. And several firefighters jumped because fire was at their back. And you look back to the World Trade Center, and there's divisions that everybody has, whether they were there in real time or they've seen it on the news of people jumping. And I'll tell you this: when fire's at your back, that's the worst thing that you ever want to have at you. And you will jump to escape that. And you just hope it's over real quick. Me, I was a lucky man and I survived that day, but that's another story. It's just horrific to think what those poor human beings went through that day on 9/11. And it just wasn't, the World Trade Center. It was Shanksville, and it was the Pentagon. I stood in a place 35 years ago as a young. I served almost 21 years between the United States Air Force and the Air National Guard, and I stood in a bell house of the USS Arizona about 35 years ago, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up. Never had that feeling anywhere else until 9/11. Still to this day, when I stand on the grounds of the World Trade Center, the footprints, the hair on the back of my neck stands up. I've stood in the Pentagon where the plane impacted the building. I was down there as a VIP tour with the FDNY VFW post 12033, the firefighter Chris Engeldram VFW post. A side story real quick. Chris Engeldram of Ladder 61 in the Bronx, he was our first post-war or post 9/11 killed in action for FDNY. Chris was killed in 2004 in the War on Terror. He was an FDNY firefighter, and he went to fight for our freedom, and unfortunately was killed. And the FDNY VFW post 12033 was renamed the Chris Engeldram VFW post. So we were down at the Pentagon with the post, and we stood where the plane impacted the building, and I could, and in my mind, I could see that plane coming across the belt and impacting the Pentagon, and the hair on the back of my neck stood up, and chills came over my body. just a crazy feeling. You know, when I walk around the World Trade Center, I've taken my boys there to tell the story of my friends. They say when we stop saying our friends' names that died, they're forgotten. I always tell stories of my friends that made the supreme sacrifice on 9/11. So I could walk around the footprints of the World Trade Center, and I don't have to look for my friends. They come to me. It's like too real that, you know, you could see there's a name that just pops off. You know, I'll just say Kevin Brackett. You know, I played hockey with Kevin. 2000, he was my defensive partner in the Bronx Harlem Fire League. You know, names just pop off. You know, Bobby Spears, that was assigned to 50 engine, but he was on rotation in 26 engine. You know, I could go on and on and on. It's just a crazy, crazy feeling. And it's not one time. Like, I take my boys there to tell stories of my friends. We talk about Jerry Baptiste. Jerry got assigned to 19 truck out of Proby School. He was, I believe he was a lieutenant in the Fighting 69th in Army in Manhattan. And I don't know, he just transferred to Manhattan. And for whatever reason, he wanted to change, you know, and me, I wanted to stay in the Bronx. And, you know, I loved the ghetto and helping people in the depressed areas and fighting the fires there, but he wanted to go to Manhattan. And unfortunately, you know, he was killed on 9/11. You know, I mean, we could, you know, hindsight's 2020. If he would have stayed in the Bronx, would he have lived? I don't know. You know, I mean, there's plenty of my friends from the Bronx that were killed, but he died. And he was redoing a motorcycle, and he never, you know, never got to finish that project. But his brothers and his firehouse finished that project, and his motorcycle is in the museum. And it is, you know, I tell my boys, you know, again, tell the stories of your friends. You know, I could, you know, just go on and on and on. Pete Befield of Ladder 42. Pete, he worked in the same battalion as me. He was on medical leave on 9/11, and he was at the medical office at headquarters in Brooklyn. And, you know, the attack happened, and he's coming back over the Brooklyn Bridge as it happened. He could have turned right and went to his firehouse in the Bronx, but he turned left and drove into Lower Manhattan. He went to the quarters of 10 and 10 directly across from the World Trade Center. Took a firefighter's gear and left a note. I am Pete Befield of Ladder 42. You know, I'm borrowing your gear. If I don't make it back, tell my wife and kids, you know, I love them. Pete did come back. There's many stories of many brave men and women that ran in while others ran out. Another side note, I have a friend that we became friends years later. He was in high school on 9/11. He grew up in the Detroit area, a hockey player, not a great student, was looking for direction in life. 9/11 happened, and that day he ran out of school. He ran to a Navy recruiter. And was looking to join. Look back and think about how many brave men and women stepped up that day. My buddy Ryan Parrott, he became a Navy SEAL. He served for 8 years as a SEAL sniper, and all because of 9/11. You know, you just think to all those people. I mean, we lost 7,000 men and women in a global war on terror. And that's a mind-blowing number. You know, it's just crazy. And then losing my friends, you know, it's like I said, I lost 50, probably 50 plus. Go back to Tommy Foley. Tommy was 32 years old on when he lost his life on 9/11. Made a supreme sacrifice. Along with 7 other men from Rescue 3. As we're rebuilding the company, as I say we, because now I'm part of this company, Tommy's younger brother, Danny, was in 49 truck in the Bronx. He's one of the youngest members to ever come over to Rescue 3, and came over. Tough man, like his brother. Excuse me, I'm so sorry.
No, I'm so sorry that I'm taking you here.
Say their names, right?
Say their names, tell their stories.
So, anyway, Danny comes over, hardcore firefighter, made some high-profile rescues, proved himself in Rescue 3, carried on the Foley legacy. February 22nd this year, 2020, we lost Danny.
I was at his wake. I'm friends with his sister, and the Foley tragedy actually goes beyond Danny and Tommy. Their dad, who was looking for Tommy down at the World Trade Center when he was missing, also died of a 9/11 related cancer, and they lost their mom as well. And although it's not scientifically linked, there's the belief that she got cancer from washing the clothes and being herself exposed to the toxins. I have never heard of a family more impacted than the Foley family.
And what a great family. I mean,
and what a great family.
Like Tommy and I were friends. We were friends through the job. That we were both from Rockland County, and our bond started. He was in Squad 41 at the time, which is south of 19 truck, and he went up to Rescue 3, which is this north of 19 truck. And I don't know. We always, we had a bond through country music, and he did a promo for Y107. Hi, I'm Tom Foley of Squad 41, and I am New Country. So I used to break his chops, and I was I love all kinds of music. I go from rock and roll to country music. But anyway, that was our fun part, that we used to break each other's chops. And Tommy was he was a cowboy, from Rockland County, an avid outdoorsman, most one of the most eligible bachelors from People magazine, and just a great guy. But anyway, I come home from Tommy's wake, and I put his prayer card on the entertainment center, and my wife picks it up, and we had the same birthday. So Tommy was 2 years younger than me. He was 32 years old when he lost his life. Danny was 42 when he lost his life in a courageous battle with pancreatic cancer. And but the Foleys would always call me on my birthday and wish me happy birthday. It's they're celebrating Tommy's life, but they're they look above that. That's who the Foleys are. They're just great people. I actually was together with Carrie, Danny's wife, and Joanne, and Carrie's and Danny's children, and then Joanne's children on 9/11 this year. That evening we got together with other friends and family of the Foleys, and raise a glass to both Tommy and Danny. It's it never gets easy. I mean, you just I don't know, you kind of just like, I don't know, like expect it, you know, you just wait for the next brick to drop, you know, it's like, you know, and, you know, just try to stay positive. You really do just try to stay positive and, you know, move forward in life and never stop, never stop saying their names and telling their stories. You know, I've traveled across the country on my dime, you know, at stair climbs, to say the names, you know, and if I see a member of whatever department, you know, I've shaken 343 hands, you know, in stair climbs, and my hand's bleeding at the end of the day because I'll have my Rescue 3 ring on, and it's a big ring, and guys are shaking. You know, I got to shake their hands to thank them for remembering, and my hand's bleeding at the end of the day. And if they're carrying one of my friends or somebody I know a story of, I'll tell them that story, you know, so they hold it, you know, in their heart to know, you know, there's the words never forget, and then there's never forgetting, you know, and that's what I try to do.
Let me ask you, after you yourself worked on the pile all those long months, how's your health?
So I have multiple health issues, some from the fire that I was involved in, and some from 9/11. My lungs are they're up and down. You know, if I'm in warmer weather, they do better. The humidity, not so much, but a lot better. The cold. I mean, I was a couple of years ago, I thought I was on my deathbed again. I don't know. I just started dropping weight, and I was violently throwing up fluid, and I don't know. I prayed real hard to God. You know, I got good with God, and I don't know, I read the Bible cover to cover, first time ever. Started going to church, and I don't know. It was a divine, I don't know, miracle or whatever. But you know, I got better from that. But I still have lung issues. I have GERD. You know, I've had stuff show up on my lungs. You know, you get a little worried about it. You know, but some of it is scarring from, you know, I broke all my ribs in my accident in 2005. So they go back and forth in trying to figure out what it is. But, you know, you try to stay positive, you know, and pray, and, you know, and it is what it is, you know, it's, you know, here it is, you know, 19 years later, you know, and I'm still above ground, you know, so you got to take every day for, not for granted, you know, for sure, you know, you take time and smell the roses, you know, be thankful for what we have, you know, so.
Any regrets at all?
There's no regrets. Again, I would do it in a heartbeat, you know. The world changed that day. The regret is that you know, I wish that it never happened, you know, and that's not on me. I don't know, you know, I wish we would have got bin Laden many moons ago, you know. I mean, but there's many bin Ladens out there, you know, that they're silent, diligent, I don't know, SOBs that are looking to come and take our freedom. They hate America. And, you know, I'm proud that we have, you know, brave men and women out there every day that are defending America, and that are trying their hardest to prevent another one, you know. My regret is that our children, you know, they don't get to grow up in a world that we once knew. You know, it's they don't know that freedom. You know, they really don't know, and not having to look over your shoulder all the time.
Anything else you want to add, Jeff?
No, I think that's it. You know, I'm not gonna.
I apologize for taking you back. I know it's very, very difficult, and I really appreciate your participation. These stories need to be told and need to be remembered. And so I apologize, and I thank you at the same time.